Hello everyone and welcome to my flip merchanting guide. I've noticed that a lot of people spend a lot of time browsing YouTube looking for guides to make them gold in the game of RuneScape. Now, I've been using a certain method to make me money in RuneScape for the past month or so, and that method is called flip merchanting. Flip merchanting is a way of making money without actually having to spend a lot of time gathering resources, killing mobs, selling their loot, and things such as that, which is how other people say you should make money. But this actually, flip merchanting capitalizes on the fact that people sell and trade in items all the time using the Grand Exchange, which, as you can see, is behind me here. And your aim as a flip merchanter is to exploit that fact and actually buy items for less than what they should sell for, and selling them for more than what they should sell for. So let me show you what I mean. There is a slight snag with flip merchanting, is that you probably do need a fairly decent amount of money to start with. So as you can see, I've got 5 million. Now, you could get away with 1 million starting from this. Hell, you can even get away with 100k. I've seen some people do this from 100k, but you have to remember that if you haven't got a lot of money to use, you're not going to make an awful lot of money to begin with. From 5 million, you're looking to make around about 30k per flip, and each flip you can probably do around about 10 to 20 flips an hour. So, you know, it's still a decent amount of money, but as you make more money, you can make even more money from flipping. So the more money you have, the more you'll make, basically. Now, if we go to the Grand Exchange and click the Exchange button, you probably all know how to work the Grand Exchange, but I'm going to show you how flip merchanting works. Now, the way I can do this actually is by going through the interface. If I search for an item here, and I'm going to use probably one of my favourite items to flip, which are big bones, and select them. As you can see, I'm putting a buy off of big bones. Now, the main thing that we need to look at here is this here. This is the market price. This is what the game, by looking at past trades and looking at the current demand versus the stock of an item on the Grand Exchange, it determines what the market price should be. And so if you didn't know what the price of big bones were and you came to the Grand Exchange, you would see this. Yeah, 335 GP is the average market price. Now, the way that a flip merchanter exploits this method is they actually look for how high an item is selling for. So you actually find the maximum buy price, and this then becomes your sell price. And the way that we find out what the maximum buy price for an item is we go to these buttons here. Now, as you can see, these increase or decrease the current offer on the screen by 5%. So if I actually put 15%, so by clicking it 3 times, as you can see, I'm 15% more than what was before. I think it's 15%. It may be slightly more, but that's not really an issue that you have to worry about. And what you want to do is you want to buy one, and this is actually just testing your market, because as you can see here, somebody is selling big bones for 338 GP, and that is the maximum anyone is selling these items for. Otherwise, I would have found them beforehand at a higher price. So as you can see, the market is at 338, which, depending on what the sell price is, isn't very strong. But then to find your buy price, you need to sell it for as little GP as possible. So what I do is then just decrease it by 15% and confirm my offer. So as you can see here, the minimum sort of sell price is 335. So that's only a margin of 3 GP, which is okay if you're willing to put a lot of money on the line, because you have to work out that you're aiming to make around about 30k GP a flip. So if you're only making 3 GP per item, you need to buy and flip 10k items, if you understand what I mean. So I'm not really willing to do that, because as you can see, my money is I've got a fairly short amount of money for this demonstration, and if I was to buy 10k big bones, it would cost me 3.35 million, and that means that I wouldn't have enough money to go into another item. So we're going to have a look for one more item. I'm just going to show you now without really explaining it. So another item that I like to merch a bit is iron ore. So as usual, I'm just finding the market price. And it's always key to either type or write it down. I have a notepad in front of me that is constantly full. Each page is full of just two numbers, one above each other, which is an item. I usually may put like sort of two letters next to it to sort of so I know which item it is. So as you can see here, we've got iron ore, which has a maximum sell price of 100 and a maximum minimum buy price of 98. So I'm actually going to buy some iron ore, and I'm actually going to do a flip on this one. This is going to be like a serious flip. And as I'm aiming to make around about 30k a time, I know I'm going to have to do 10k iron ore, which I believe is the maximum you can do at any one time. So I'm actually going to do that, and because it's not a lot of money, it's a smaller risk for me, and also it means that I can put money into other places. Now, one thing you've got to realize is that you're not going to get your items straight away. You have to wait for anybody else who's buying iron ore at 98 GP a time to have all of their order fulfilled, and then it will be your turn, if you understand. As you see, look, I've now jumped the queue to around the front, so anyone who sells it for 98 GP or less, it will go to me. The iron ore will go to me, and I can guarantee that. So while that's doing, we then do another item. So if you go over to another item I like to merchant, which is U logs, I'm gonna find my my price. So that's 414, and my my buy price, shall I say now, is 403, which is actually a really nice margin. As you can tell, that's 11 GP margin, which means I've got a good chance of making some money. So I'm going to go U logs, I'm going to put in my price for 403, and I'm going to put in an offer for 5k. Okay, which is a lot, but think about it. If I actually sell all these for the 13 GP, I'm going to be making 65k profit on the flip. Which, you know, it is possible to do that. And that's basically what you have to do. And then you have to sort of wait for your items to buy before you then sell it for the maximum you have. Now, this can sometimes take, you know, around 10 minutes to fulfill a full order, because most of the time I'd be doing 6 different items for smaller quantities than that. I probably wouldn't even be doing the iron ore because, you know, I'd rather put that money into something else, so that I've got a chance of getting faster money, because I know that the iron ore will take a little while to do, even though I have already got over 1/10 of the stock so far that I asked for. So that I estimate to be done in around about 5 minutes. But then again, though, it could be done in the next 3 seconds. Somebody could come on and sell all of their iron ore for 98 GP, and I'd get it, if you understand what I mean. It's always a waiting game, and you can never really tell on how long an item's going to take to buy or to sell. Now I'm going to talk about sort of items that I recommend you flip. It's actually quite simple on how you work out what items to do. Your best bet is to use common game knowledge. So one thing that I always buy into every now and again, if my normal market, because I usually have 6 items that I stick to, there's 2 of them. I won't go into the others as I like to keep them to myself, but one of your main skills, herb lore. Okay? If you have a look at the secondary ingredients for herb lore, you must understand that because people people train herb lore, they want to buy the secondary ingredients, okay? But the good thing about that is that other people have said in guides and things like that, and common knowledge on how to make money is gather these resources. You should become the middleman. So we're going to have a look at one that I don't use that often, but I will for the purpose of this video, which is the limpwort root. This is used, I believe, in strength potions and super strength potions. I'm not 100% sure on exactly what they're used for, but they are well traded, as you can see, 653 GP for the market price. But I'm just going to find out my my prices here. So 704. Ooh, that's pretty high. From what I knew limpworts to be the other day, they were a lot lower than that. But anyway, I always knock 15% off. It's just habit more than anything. So 686. Now that is a really good margin. So I'm going to actually just have a look into it. Because I'm not going to invest all of my money, but I'm going to do a decent amount. So 1k, you know, considering the amount of money I have at the minute is pretty low now. But what you're aiming to do is you're aiming to become the middleman, because people who come onto the Grand Exchange, they put their items up, and then the chances are if they don't sell instantly, they're going to go elsewhere and train a skill, or go collect more, if you understand what I mean. And this is where you can exploit it, because if they've put their price on, you know, a few hours before, or they're just aiming to really quickly sell the product, okay, they'll put it on for a ridiculously low price. Like the amount of times I've done it myself, where they're basically, let me just grab an item from my bank here, which as you see, it's pretty small, bank. So if I take 10 coins, 10 logs, and say I've just been woodcutting and I've got my logs and I come back to here and I really want to sell them quickly, and the amount of times I've seen people go to the market price and go, well, it won't sell for that, so I'll do that and sell them. Okay, now somebody's just picked them up for less than the market price. Now I can guarantee that that same person is then either going to use them if they're lucky, or if they're a flip merchant, they're going to resell them. Okay, so you're aiming to be that person to pick up items for really low and then sell them for the price that people want to sort of expect to buy it for. So say for example, though, on the other end of the spectrum, if I was a fire maker, and I needed, or a Fletcher, and I needed logs, and I go sort of search for logs, and I go, well, I'm going to buy 10 and 30 GP. I don't think they're going to buy for that, so I'll put the price up a bit and see if I can get them. There you go. I just had to spend 309 GP on 10, which I don't know how that actually works out, because I'm sure you can't do that per item. But anyway, what's just happened is I've made the person there who was selling it at the maximum price buy the item, because I was putting on for a ridiculously high price, which means that I always get it for the highest price someone is selling it for on the Grand Exchange. Okay, obviously if someone was putting up normal logs for 10k GP a time, I wouldn't get the logs, but that usually doesn't happen. And what you just got to aim to be the person who's being sensible and buying it off people who are selling it for ridiculous prices and selling it to people who are buying it for ridiculous prices. It's all a way of just manipulating other people's greed on how to get the item or get the money as fast as possible. And if you are able to exploit this, you can make a lot of money. So while all these buy up, I think I'm going to wrap the video up here, because I have just sort of ruffled on for a little bit, and I'm sure I haven't rolled on the floor laughing, but waffled on is a much better way of saying it. But yeah, if you enjoyed the little guide, it's not really a guide, it's more of a talk through. Please like the video. I'm really not fussed if you do or not. And I hope you can make money off flip merchanting. If you want to tell me how much you made off it after watching this guide, it'd be much appreciated. I like to see how people do. So thanks a lot for watching the video, guys, and I'll hopefully see you in another one.